speak any louder. The more they hate, the more they giving me power. Now, watch me lose, show you how I do. I bet you won't try me, I bet you won't try me, 'cause I shut 'em up. Shut 'em up. Shut 'em up. When they wanna talk shit, just shut 'em up. Shut 'em up. Shut 'em up. Shut 'em up. Baby, don't get mad, just shut 'em up. Oh, what's that you say? Can't you speak any louder? The more they hate, the more they giving me power. Now, watch me lose, show you how I do. I bet you won't try me, I bet you won't try me, 'cause I shut 'em up. Shut 'em up. Shut 'em up.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This your boy Wade, and you're watching Wade TV Show. You already know, so let's go. I told y'all yesterday that I was gonna have ReDICKulous in the building. Basically, we're gonna talk about the reunion show, because I'm sure most of you guys, if you haven't seen it, I don't know what rock you was living under, but the reunion show, Housewives of Atlanta, came on Sunday. And I said, and I've been knowing him for quite some time, and I said, you know what, it'd be cool to get him on, since he's been, getting popular now because of the show, that, everybody, even your followers went up like crazy. So everybody been wanting to know what's going on with ReDICKulous. So I said, you know what, let me get him on the show, and let's just chop it up, and let's just, see what's going on in his world, and you guys can learn more about him as well too. So what's been going on with you?
Not much, man. Life has been crazy since the Housewives or whatever. I mean, I was already having a busy schedule, balancing my 9 to 5 and dancing, but I took a leave of absence for 6 months so I can travel and have a good experience on touring with Candy and Phaedra and doing my own thing. So, but it's been a crazy ride. I stay busy, man.
So how long have you been dancing all together? Because you've been dancing for a minute.
It'll be 8 years in general. So.
And what made you start out dancing? Like, how did that come about?
I was in the military and I was in college, and one of my homeboys had asked me, did I want to get in a competition, and I was like, no. He was like, man, you should. It's an amateur competition and it's some good money to win. So I got in it and I actually won, and they was like, you need to come to Atlanta and get into, if you can make it in Atlanta, you can make it anywhere. Yeah. So I was like, hell no, I'm not going to no Atlanta. These people gonna laugh at me for being skinny or whatever. I got in, went to Atlanta.
I think it works for you though. It works for you.
When I got to Atlanta, man, the crowd went stupid. I'm talking about stupid, and it was like within 2 months I was going over to Bahamas. So it just took off from there.
So initially, when you started dancing, when your friend told you about it, it wasn't because he knew that you was blessed, in certain areas. It wasn't because of that. It was just you just wanted to try, and it was a competition. And I guess once you got into it, that people started to, levitate towards you because of, you are well endowed, and well, that's what it...
Here's actually how it happened. I was a cheerleader in college, and he was my line brother, and everybody online had to do something where my line brothers and sisters had to come out and support or assist with something that we had to do that everyone could come out and see me do. So he asked me to get into the competition or whatever. So with me getting in the competition, he didn't know anything about me. He didn't know, what I had packaged. Nobody did actually, All they simply knew was I could dance, and I could dance good, and that's how I got into stripping. So I mean, it had nothing to do with sex or anything.
So speaking of dancing, what is your favorite? Because I know a lot of dancers have their favorite song that gets them, when they hear it, it's just a good song for them to dance to. Or if you have something that while you're preparing to do a show that you listen to, or what's your preparation when you're backstage, when you get ready to go to perform?
Well, my favorite song to dance to is by Silk, More Could We. But a lot of dancers have caught on to that song in recent years, so I kind of like moved away from it, but I always, you know, sometimes pull it up and say, hey, let me add it into this mix. But that's my favorite song. As far as me prep, you know, getting ready for the shows or whatever, man, I just pray. You know what I'm saying? And I just focus. If I know that I gotta be ready at 9 o'clock to go on stage, 8:30, I'm back there ready to go. You know, so I always like to be an hour early before showtime or whenever I'm scheduled to go on the show. You know, so I won't be late. You know, they won't be trying to dock, which they don't dock my pay or nothing like that. You know, it's like whenever you get.
But it's best to be professional,
yeah,
so you know you got to be on your P's and Q's. So you more of a slow. You prefer more of a slow song? Because I've seen all your shows. I've seen you dance the fast songs. I've seen you dance the slow songs. I've seen you actually pull women on stage, women and men on stage, and just entertain. And I've seen you, you know, do it all. What's your favorite? You prefer a slow song? Cause you mentioned Silk, and that's actually one of my favorite songs. But I love, which is probably, you know, very what's what I'm looking for. I guess this is very given. I prefer Silk. Bedroom, Meeting in My Bedroom, and that's actually Make Love. Those are two of my favorite songs by Silk. So you prefer slow songs when you're dancing?
What I usually do is in my mixes, I always start fast to slow. And my mixes are anywhere from 13 to 18 minutes. So in that nick of time, I put at least 10 to 15 songs in there, which I just edit them real short. Mm-hmm. So I can do what I need to do because, you know, you don't want to lose the crowd. So I don't want to do nothing slow, fully dressed, because that's not the sex part. That's the entertainment part. Mm-hmm. When you go and you take off your clothes and you showing, you know, you're naked and you're doing tricks and stuff, that's the sex part, and that's why I want to be in the slow music. So.
Oh, okay, and I'm glad you mentioned earlier that you used to be a cheerleader, because I was going to ask, how did you learn how to tumble? Because I've seen you do flips and all kind of stuff on stage. So I guess all of that practice and all of those years helped out to get you to be this marvelous performer that you are today. So before we get to Housewives, I want to also throw it out there about your sign. What's your sign? Your birthday? And
I'm a Gemini. So.
You're a Gemini.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people wanted to know that.
And I actually have a twin brother, but no, he don't dance. And if you're going to ask me the next question is he packing? I assume so. You know, well, it's not my business to tell. So.
Yeah, I would assume so if you guys are twins, you know. But it's always gonna be one that's bigger than the other a little bit. But you know, so we can go ahead and get to Housewives. Then we'll get back to a few questions later. So, how did you get introduced to the show? Like, or who did you know behind the scenes that led you to
back in 2007? I had did Phaedra's party, which was her birthday party, and then I did it again in 2008. And honestly, I had forgot all about Phaedra. I haven't talked to her since I had did a party, and she, you know, back in December 2010, I was watching the show just like everybody else, and she was like, "Oh, I know a stripper that can suck his own." And I was looking like, "Well, wait a second now." You know,
I didn't know that she talking about you at first. I didn't know that
until you watched the after show.
And I was like, "Oh my God."
His name is ReDICKulous, and he ridiculous too. And I was like, what? And before you know it, I promise to you, at least 200 texts that I could not respond to because my phone just kept ringing. I'm trying to sit here and watch the show. Everybody like, you about to blow up, son? And I'm like...
Did you have a Twitter account at that time?
Yeah, I actually did, but I had to cancel it, man, because so many people started hitting me up, and then I didn't want that Twitter account to be like linked to, you know, the Housewives or whatever, so I canceled it and, you know, made another one. And once I appeared on the show, it jumped from 4,000, you know, followers to...
Yeah, because you went, last time I checked, I swear, you was like at 4,000. Now you had like 16,000 something like that. I'm like, wow, it's crazy.
Yep.
So a lot of people want to know, what does 11 stand for?
That's my dick size. Minus the 0.5.
I kind of figured that. I was like, well, maybe it could be his birthday, you know, but I kind of figured that. So that's how you pretty much got introduced to the show. So how you know Candy as well too? How did that come by? I guess from the show. That's how you guys.
Well, Phaedra invited me last year during the summer, actually in May, to do Candy's party, which it wasn't the actual party that you saw on television, which I shouldn't be leaking this information, but then she asked me after I did that party to actually come back and let Bravo tape a party for the show, you know, on top of the Renaissance in Midtown. So, you know, I didn't know, when I came out the box, I didn't know what was up there, I didn't know who was up there. I just knew that I've been down in the hotel room for the past 2 hours waiting for my time to come up and shine. And when I came out the box, I had
literally came out the box.
Yeah, so, and everything I saw, it was a surprise that I had an earpiece in my ear where the producers were telling me what to do. And it was pretty much was like, make a scene. You're the first stripper that we done had on this show, but we're gonna allow to go beyond the restrictions. And that's how
it went beyond the restrictions. So I never took what Candy's mom said, you know, personally, or nothing personal directed towards you. I just kind of, you know, when Candy cleared it up and said it was because guys was there too, and it wasn't actually like a what do they call it when women get a bridal shower or anything like that. She said, now that's more, I guess, suitable. But what I did have a problem with was Nene. You know, she told us that she used to be a stripper. She danced before. So even though, to me now, she has this outlook that she is above everything and bigger than everything, you know, she said in a reunion that it's a part of, it's growth, you know, and that you have to grow. But you can't knock somebody for something that you used to do. Even if you are above that at that particular point, you have to look at it like, okay, well, at that point, I was doing what I had to do, and I did that, so I can't, you know, knock somebody else for doing, you know, what they're doing. So what are your thoughts on Nene? Do you think that is kind of...
I think Nene, you know, she got a problem with mixing up the difference between growth and arrogance. Growth means, yeah, okay, we know that you used to do this and now you're no longer doing it, but to insult someone, I could be that 20-something-year-old that you were, you know, you were just in my shoes at 20-something, so don't mess up, or don't, you know, if you didn't want to, she knew that it was going to be a stripper there. I mean, because everything that happened at the original party, it happened at the party for Bravo, with the minus all the celebrities. But, you know, the thing about it is, Nene could have easily excused herself, you know, when I came out that box, if she didn't want to see strippers. Right. I mean, she had to know that box was,
yeah, I mean,
you know, I didn't know nobody was in that box. I mean, come on now.
So how long, so you were actually, so when the box, okay, when they rolled you out, I think it was like on a...
They had me on... I'm laughing at it because when I tell you, you guys are going to crack up. They had me on a clothes rack, you know, that you when you first check in a hotel, they had, so they had the box on there, and they had me sitting on there, you know, and I was sitting down until it was time. The back was open. You couldn't see it, but the back was open, so I was sitting there with my legs up until it was time. I stepped down and stepped back up and, you know, walked out the box as if I was standing there the whole time.
And you wasn't nervous? Like, it got to be so nervous. Like, I never told y'all this, but I danced one time. This was years ago. And I was at 708, and you know Cornbread, right? Yeah. They was doing a booty shaking contest. This was back in 2007. They was doing a booty shaking contest at 708, and they said the winner gets $50. So I went up there and I booty shaked. And it was me, and it was like a whole bunch of femme queens. I was the only one that, I guess, looked different compared to them. I was the only one that was tall. Everybody else was like 5'5", and I won. I won the $50, and then I see Cornbread. I had never knew who Cornbread was, and he comes to me and asks me, "You ever thought about dancing?" I said, "Not doing this like what y'all do." I said, "No, I can't do." I said, "I'm not even cut up like y'all got nice bodies." He said, "No, just try it out." So that next weekend, I shaved, I completely nared. I went to go buy me some lingerie, and it was the next weekend at 708, and I got on stage. I was too afraid to do it by myself, so I got on stage with this other guy, what's his name, Romance, and some other person, and we was dancing to Too Short, I Go On and On, Blow the Whistle. And I got up there and I was just so nervous, and I said, I don't see how y'all can do it. I was just so nervous. And I just can't see how y'all do it. Do you ever get nervous doing that?
I mean, we all have our moments. You know, my thing is just focus. When it came to the Atlanta Housewives, you know, I had the option of saying no when they made that phone call and said, hey, we want you to come on the show. I could have said no, but I didn't want to be 10 years down the road saying that could have been me, or I wish I would have took this opportunity. I mean, I knew they had already warned me it was going to be some negative attention that comes along with it, you know, but it was an opportunity I didn't want to miss, and I was like, fuck it, I've been waiting a whole year for this shit. I'm finna take this opportunity and run with it. And I mean, it helped. You know, I'm making probably 5 times what I used to make on a normal booking, so I can't complain. And then I spend less time on the stage now, you know, so.
I mean, you got to go with the flow. I mean, when the opportunity comes, you got to go. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, look at Nene. I mean, the way she was acting at the reunion, or just period throughout the season, I had to really sit down and think like, wait a minute, Nene, nobody knew who you was before the show. Like, this show made you, you know, who you are. So it's like, it's not like the world knew you. You know, it's not like you was rich before the show, or like, you know, you could sit down and have tea with Kim Kardashian. You know, so I'm thinking like, you were not really known. The show is what made you, and then everybody knows. In my favorite voice, I actually always say that everybody knows that a show is not successful without viewers. So in a way, we kind of watched the show and we got Nene. So we almost in a way created this monster in a way. So I mean, I just think that Nene should be just a little bit more humble. That's just what I think. You know.
That's the one thing, you know, that upsets me with Nene. But that's also the one most important thing I watch with Phaedra and Candy is how humble they are, because they had money before they stepped on the show.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And trust me, I know for a fact Phaedra had money because I know what she did with us and what she did for her birthday celebration and afterwards. So, you know, I sit back and I watch. Yeah, Candy has more money probably than all of them girls put together. Right. Because she got years. I mean, over what, 2 decades?
She's wrote for Destiny's Child, Whitney Houston, TLC. I mean, Mariah, everybody. I mean, you know, she's very talented.
But you know what? The one trick I've learned about, you know, the blacks with money and whites with money is the whites could wear something plain and it ain't gotta have not one name on it, and it probably costs more than everything that the blacks have on it. But when they get something, you know, they want to put a big ass label on it just so everybody. And that's the problem with Nene. She ain't used to having money, so now she got money. She's taking advantage of it and she's broadcasting it, but it's making her spirit look ugly. You know what I'm saying? So. But
you gotta admit though, didn't it kind of look? It kind of looked suspect in a weird way. It looked really weird when she was buying a car for her son, Bryson. And she tried to get a discount. I think the guy said it was $13,000. I think the car was already used, and she was trying to talk him down. And I'm thinking like, if you got money and you rich, what's $13,000? Speaking of, we're gonna talk about Sheree. Have you ever met Sheree? You met?
Yeah, I've met her. Remember, she asked me to do the trick which didn't actually happen, but. That's when y'all saw me go down, because she had asked me to open my pants, and I was opening my pants. So, and that's when, you know, me and Sheree actually was sitting there talking while I was doing all of that. So, that was my initial time of meeting her, actually doing the filming.
So about the reunion show, do you think Sheree kind of went too far when she brought Bryson into it, when they were going back and forth about the reunion? She said Bryson was stealing something out of Walgreens or something like that.
Personally,
or Walmart.
Personally, I think the kids should be left out. They have nothing to do with it. But
you gotta remember now, he's a grown man now. See, I think it's a difference if we were talking like about Sheree's kids, because they're young, they're like under 18. We had to think about it. Like, Bryson is a grown man, so even though he's Nene's child, he still is an adult. So it's not like, you know, I mean, I don't know. I was 50-50 with it, because I'm like, well, you know, he's not necessarily a young child, but he is Nene's son, and it doesn't really have anything to do with Nene. But I mean, do you think she kind of went far a little bit? Because, you know, they were going back and forth.
It is a 50-50 chance of both. I mean, it is. I can understand from both, you know, you know.
And we all knew about it. It was on the news. It was everywhere, you know. So.
But I mean, not just the news. You know, my thing is once you allow. First of all, I'm gonna say this much. I know it's kind of difficult, but when Nene signed up for Housewives, you know, it didn't. You know, Bryson didn't sign up for it, but if Bryson steps in front of that camera while it's rolling, that's the chance that he risks, you know, for everybody to get in their business. Right. My thing is, if I'm in jail, your mama should not have been talking, you know, on the phone or to anybody discussing what happened in your personal life. Because now that doesn't put you in, that doesn't jeopardize your character, you know.
That's actually a good point because the show get what 3 million people. You're discussing it, so
4.4.
Yeah, you know, so in front of 4 million people, it's like how can you get mad or you know when you talked about it on the show. One thing that I did like about Nene is her mother's side towards him, the way she showed him tough love and she didn't want to get him out of prison, and then Peter was like, you know, not prison but jail, and Peter was like, no, let him get him out there because he hasn't. It's not like he's a bad kid, but maybe he just want attention. But I actually agree with Nene, like, no, let him sit in there and let him know that Nene can't always be there to, you know, bail you out, that you a grown man. Did you kind of agree with that when Nene did that?
Hey, look, I can't knock nobody's parenting skills. That's how she raised her son. I mean, my parents do the same thing.
Yeah, my mom do the same thing too. Sit your ass in there. I'm tired of bailing you out, and, you know, you got to learn from it.
I mean, you know, my two brothers have been in jail. I've never been in jail. So, you know, the first time my parents are going to bail you out. They'll be right there. But after that, you know, they'll be like, no, you on your own, son. Because it's going to, all they see is you being, you know, repetitious when it comes to going to jail. And if you go the first time and then go the second time, there's something wrong. Especially if you're going for the same thing. So.
Yeah, that's true. And so when Nene and Sheree was going at it, about Chateau Sheree, and Nene said Neverland, and Sheree was like, what do you mean, what's that? Because it's never, she said something about it's never going to be there, or it's never going to get built or something like that. Do you think Chateau Sheree is in the process, in the works?
Nope.
I mean, because when we seen it, it was nothing but sticks and dirt, and Nene said, what I'm going to visit, sticks and dirt. I don't know, I mean, when Sheree was actually explaining what was going on with Chateau Sheree, it sounded like she
was thinking,
not sure. Yeah, like I don't know. A lot of people just saying that she doesn't got the coin. Something happened to the camera. I don't know what happened. The battery's fully charged. It just clicked off. So we ordered some pizza right now because he done got me hungry. So where I picked up from was they said that allegedly that Sheree didn't have any money. That's why her Chateau Sheree is kind of on hold. But we're going to get into some more questions that I told you guys yesterday. And if you had any questions that you wanted to ask him, to comment below or to email me or tweet me. So while he's looking for the pizza, I'm looking for, where did I write? Okay, you know, it's right here. All right. It says, hey Wade, I tried to think of questions that would not be controversial. I would love if he could answer all my questions. Thanks for your time and consideration, Antonio. And Antonio, well, thanks for your question. Antonio is, of course he's a male, 21 years old, lives in LaGrange, Georgia. That's out in the country.
That's right outside of Atlanta, about 30 minutes outside of Atlanta.
And he is a gay male, and his Twitter is Rover Bentley. And question number one, he said, since being in the adult entertainment industry, what has become your greatest accomplishment?
Well, of course, I'm the first ever Mr. Exotic Dancer Universe, which I also have 26 award titles and recognition. So, but I mean, shit, being on TV,
yeah,
of course,
I mean,
that's my greatest accomplishment. So.
On TV, I mean, that's crazy, and not too many strippers at that too. Black strippers, you know, it's crazy. So I was actually shocked.
And I mean, a person of my size, you know, most people my size won't make it in this industry, you know. But
that's
my
true.
thing is,
because you do break that mold. Because you know, a lot of it's like a stereotype how they want strippers to be. They want you to be like extremely big, buff, beefy. So you kind of do break that whole that whole mode, which is actually a good thing.
It's like
It's
this.
diversity.
After you having this big body, big dick, and nice ass, what else can you bring to the table? If you can't dance, you know, you're going to lose the crowd.
Right.
So it's like you have to be able to entertain, and I'm a good entertainer. So my thing is I'm forced to be reckoned with when it comes to performing. So.
Have you ever danced at Swinging Richards?
No, and won't.
You want?
No. Listen, I'm not going to dance anywhere I have to pay out money for just being there. My thing is I get paid good for coming in and bouncing when I'm done. That's all I want to do. I don't want to be in no club dancing in the same place with the same motherfuckers every week or every day. It gets old, you know what I'm saying? I get to travel, go to places I probably would have never got to visit or whatever. Go see attractions, you know. And the shit excites me because that's one of my that's one of my hobbies is traveling. You know what I'm saying? And when I get to go places, I'm not like a typical stripper. Take me to the hotel, I want to go sleep with this person. I'll be like, fuck that. You know, when I went to Paris, I was like, take me to go see the Eiffel Tower. Shit, that's shit that I hear about. I can take a picture and say, I've been there. You know, and that's what I be trying to show these other dancers or tell these other dancers. It's a whole lot more out there than sex. That's what you get paid to do. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to do it and focus all your attention. There's so much you can do outside of stripping. That's how I got on TV because, you know, I use my network. It wasn't about just sitting there trying to find the next person to fuck. Because at the end of the day, you know, you depreciate your value when you constantly fucking, and especially those who be fucking the promoters. You know what I'm saying? Kudos to them dummies, because I ain't finna fuck no promoter. I know if I got something, exactly.
That's crazy.
I know if I got something that they want, I'm gonna keep them running behind it, because I know I can keep getting what I want. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a user, because my thing is I work hard for what I get. You know what I'm saying? I don't need nobody to take care. I got my own, but what I'm saying is, you know, some people feel like that's the way they're gonna get to the top is by fucking their way to the top.
It worked for Corinne Stephens, but it may not work for everybody. But where is she now? So you know, it may work for her. I mean, it may work for you, but I understand what you're saying. Well, before I get to the next question, so you mentioned traveling. So where have you not been? Like you traveled to how many states in the U.S. and then we'll get to overseas.
Well, you know, I've been in the military too, so you know, I've been to actually all of the lower 48 states actually, and probably out of those 48, probably done danced in about 40 of them. So
wow. So you haven't been to Alaska and Hawaii?
No, I haven't been there.
Would you love to go there?
Hell yeah.
I would love to go to Hawaii, but yeah. Or where can they? Well, we're gonna get to all your information at the end of the video, where you can give your links and stuff like that where they could find you. So, all right. Question number 2: Is it hard trying to balance your personal life from your? Okay, I think he's trying to say personal. Is it hard trying to balance your personal life from life in the adult? Yeah, from life in the adult industry. Being that people will always view you as a stripper.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Early on, you know, when I first became a dancer, I you know, that was something I was big on, you know, because I was in the military and I was dancing. So my thing was to separate the two, you know. Never let, which my real name is Kelvin, never let Kelvin interfere with ReDICKulous. You know, my thing is at the end of the day, ReDICKulous is a character that I made up, you know, and that's not who I am. That's just
it's work. Yeah, I mean,
it's work. So you know, like I said, I got a 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? But you know, ReDICKulous ain't gonna interfere with Kelvin. But it may cause me to say I have to take a break at this moment because ReDICKulous is doing something that I need to focus on, you know, but at the same time, at the end of the day, I always remember, I gotta go back to Kelvin, or I always gotta remember to take care of Kelvin, because a lot of motherfuckers live for the now and don't think for the future, so.
Okay.
But I don't let it interfere with it, though. Hell no. It don't interfere with it, too. And even when it comes to a relationship, you know, you gotta either support ReDICKulous, because that's something, you know, I take seriously, and it takes a lot of time and energy. You know, and when I first meet a person going into a relationship, you know, I talk about ReDICKulous and I tell them everything they probably don't want to hear and they probably want to hear. And then I tell them, you need to come to a show and experience it so you can understand why I do what I do, why I love it the way I do, and why it's so important to me. And you know, once they see that, sometimes they be right there helping me get ready. You know, it just depends.
Yeah, you can't have any insecurities. You have to be comfortable with yourself too, because you know there's people throwing themselves at you all the time. So you got to be able to hold your own and know that you are with this person because you like them, and they need to understand that. So that's actually a good question. Next question is, what place in your mind do you have to go to entertain? Is it like being a singer or a dancer or having a Sasha Fierce alter ego?
It's definitely an alter ego. You know what I'm saying? ReDICKulous is somebody, you know, when I'm off stage, you know, I've learned to humble myself over the years because I used to be arrogant when I first got into the stripping game. But, you know, shit can happen and it can cause you to face reality where you have to say, this ain't who I am and this, you know, can't always be who I represent because people see that and that's how they're going to start treating you. So when I become ReDICKulous, it's something that I've learned to instantly turn on, turn off. You know, when I walk off that stage, I'm done. You know, that ain't anything after that. If I'm not getting paid to do it, you ain't going to see ReDICKulous. You know what I'm saying? So that's just me. And, you know, I actually kind of like doing that because it makes people sit back and be like, I want to get to know more about him because this is a total different person on the stage and off the stage. So,
okay. And this one, what is it that you are afraid of in life?
well, you know, failure. I mean, who ain't afraid
Yeah,
of
that's
failure?
actually a good answer. Failure. I think we're all afraid of failure. We all want to be the best that we could be. And let's see, the last one from Mr. Rover Bentley. If you had a choice to, if you had to choose a platform that you were most passionate about, what would it be and why? A platform that you were most passionate about.
Well, to be honest with you, you know, my mentor, you know, passed away a couple years ago, and if I can, which I am currently working on, is a nonprofit, you know, and to do outreach and awareness, you know what I'm saying, in cities that don't have the benefits of major cities like Atlanta, New York, you know, like my hometown, Augusta, you know, it's only a population of like maybe 900,000 in the metropolitan area or whatever. And they only have just one outreach program, and that's through the government. And it's, of course, it's by a major university. So they don't get to, you know, actually go into the community. And we have a large black population in my hometown, and you know, most people don't even know what the resources are, or the, you know, the way of going about to get the resources for that situation. So that's something, you know, I'm actually working on with, you know, some people and one city councilman down in my hometown and stuff. So hopefully, you know, that goes good, you know, and I can be an entrepreneur or a businessman, and I can branch out. Hell, I'm trying to be like Candy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The way to riches is having multiple sources of income.
Right,
so.
you got to do what you got to do, and you know, and you got to have, the more that you can dip into more businesses, the more money comes towards you. You know, people talking about Candy, her sex toy line, I think it's brilliant.
Well, make sure y'all support me because I'm coming out with mine soon too. So.
Oh yeah, you are. You coming out with your own. You had thought of a name yet? You still in a?
Well, look, everybody wants a piece of ReDICKulous, so you know.
I heard that. Everybody knows. You know?
That ReDICKulous is a great performer with some amazing abilities.
You silly. Oh, I got to backtrack. You say you're from Augusta. You know, when I think of Augusta, I think of country, dirt roads.
No.
Is it not? It's not like that. Because
it's the second largest city in Georgia, so
you know, because we never hear nothing about Augusta that much in Atlanta. So when he said that, I'm thinking like Augusta. I always thought you'd have been like more of a city boy, like, you know, from Miami or New York. Like,
nope.
You from like where cows roam the street.
We don't even have cows in the city.
Y'all don't have no cows?
No, it's a huge city. So you know, actually, you know, it's a smaller version of Atlanta. I mean, shit, we have just as much killing as they do here. So
y'all have public transportation too?
yeah, we do. We don't have no train.
No train,
system, but
y'all have like buses and stuff like that. Oh, okay. So now we're gonna get into some YouTube questions. Let's go. JJ. His Twitter name is JJ_so_sexy.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I want to know if he has any regrets going on to Housewives because I've seen him long before that show and I have no problem with him. I have no problem with how he entertains. I used to strip as well, but he got a lot of hate and criticism, and I want to know does he regret going on the show? Because you had some positive opinions and you had some, hate too, but that comes with the, everybody not gonna love you.
My thing is like this: as long as you got somebody talking, you're doing something right. And as long as these motherfuckers haters are hating to the people that don't know me, all they're doing is increasing my fame, or my ability to keep pushing to, go to the next level. So, hey, no, I don't regret it. Like I said, I appreciate everything that's coming with it. The bigger bookings, the sold out crowds, the opportunity to network and be personal friends with people I looked at on TV for years, or see as this is the level I want to get myself on. This is where I can see myself in 3, 4, 5 years. Not sitting out here hanging with these motherfuckers who saying, oh, I'm a stripper too, I'm just as hot as he is, but yet and still you ain't doing nothing to go to the next level. My thing is, if you start a job, eventually you want to start working up the chain of command. You don't want to still be at the bottom of the totem pole, the whole time you work. I know guys who've been stripping for 14, 15 years and still can't pack a club out, or still don't know how to negotiate their booking deals, or still getting the same amount they was getting when they first started back in the 90s when I was in high school. You know what I'm saying? So, my thing is, when it comes to Facebook, Twitter, everything is done professionally to the point where it's a resume. So when you go on there, you're gonna see, the bio. You're gonna see the pictures of me interacting with the fans. You're gonna see me with the flyers. You're gonna see me promoting. You're gonna see me talking. I mean, you're gonna see it all. Everything is done professional. Even when you book me and you confirm a booking, from how you do the payments to how you sign the contract with my logo on there. So everything is done, and that was done before I got on the Housewives. That's just something I always had instilled. If you're going to do something, do it to the fullest and figure out ways to save money rather than having somebody else to do it and you spending money. So,
okay. And the next question actually kind of goes with the one you just answered. This question is from ADB6. I don't know. Y'all have these crazy Twitter names. It's ADIBECIC. Adi Besic, something like that. I'm sorry if I didn't get it correct. It says, has he had more positive or negative outcomes from being on the show? So which one kind of outweighs the other?
You think about it.
If you on TV, then I would say you have more positive.
Exactly.
So yeah.
I persuaded some big people to get on there. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is, I never called them; they called me. So you think about it, and I got connections now to where people are calling me, asking me to do things for them, whereas beforehand, either they had to come out and see your show, or you had to, call them and say, this is who I am, and I'm going to send you a video or this, or, I don't have to do that no more. My thing is, if a person called me to book me or send me an email to book me, and the first thing they say, or somewhere in their request to book me is, can you send a picture of your dick? I don't even respond, or my management team don't even respond, because at that point in time, you're crossing the line between business and professional, and I don't play that. So my thing is, dick and ass and pussy, all that shit comes at a dime a dozen, and if it ain't helping me, then it's hurting me, and I ain't trying to go that route. So
okay. Hey, what's up, y'all? We back. Something was wrong with the camera. It started shifting downwards, and it kind of cropped our faces out, but he schooled me on my own camera and actually told me how to screw it in the proper way. which is crazy because it's my own camera tripod, but he actually screwed me on it. I don't think you actually said earlier, you said what was your favorite song to dance to, but you never said who was your favorite artist. Like what kind of music genre do you listen to? You listen to R&B, pop?
Believe it or not, man,
You don't listen.
I love gospel. And
Gospel.
I mean, I listen to it a lot. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, God knows what I do. God knows, you know, He's going to accept me regardless of what, you know. My relationship with God may be different than some people, but I talk to Him before I walk on the stage, before I walk out the house, before I travel on the road. I mean, so, you know, as long as He, you know, He's present in my life, you know, only He can judge me. So at the end of the day, you know, my relationship with Him is actually probably closer than before I became a stripper, you know, because I know that I go through a lot of trials and tribulations as a stripper, you know what I'm saying? So my thing is, the only way I can get over some of the obstacles is by bettering my relationship with God. But, you know, God, like I said, gospel is my favorite thing. You know, I love R&B, but my favorite artist, you know, back in the day, it used to be Mary J. Blige because I could relate to her back in the day. I guess you could say when she was on drugs or whatever, but...
You see her chicken commercial?
Yeah, I saw that. It's an insult that she would have even did it, even if it was a joke, you know, but... You silly. But my favorite artist, you know, as far as entertainment, and I know a lot of people say this, I love Beyonce. And the only reason why I really, really love Beyonce is because she's a great entertainer.
She is, though.
Her family is a part of the business, where that means the money is being distributed amongst, you know, everybody is a part of it. You got the mom making the clothes, you got the dad being the management. Well, he was at one point.
Yeah.
But, you know, her husband is now doing it, you know, or his team. And then, you know, the sister even doing her fair share whenever she's not doing something bizarre. But, you know what I'm saying? And, I mean, you can't give her, she's a great performer. I mean, and everything is done so professionally. When you do try to find flaws, which everybody have them, you know, I mean, it happens. So, I mean, it's like when I book a lot of dancers on my shows, and when I book a lot of dancers, you know, they never ever call and say, "ReDICKulous, we want to book you." And you know, somebody came to me one day and said, "Hey, you know, it's like, you know, they're Kelly Rowland and you're Beyonce. If Kelly Rowland is performing, you think she's going to invite Beyonce to come and perform on her show? When, you know, if you invite Beyonce, she's going to end up becoming the headliner over Kelly Rowland." So I had to think of it like that, you know. So
yeah,
that's one of my great, you know, things to watch Beyonce. I mean, Beyonce.
You have a favorite song of hers? You like
my favorite song is "Get Me Bodied."
I was gonna say "Single Ladies." I was gonna say, okay, now you know what?
No, "Get Me Bodied." I mean, man, I love that BET performance back in.
Oh yeah, with the robot.
Yeah, that was hot. Even though she had some technical difficulties, it was still a hot.
And it was kind of sampled before.
Yeah, but I mean, my thing is she got the money to do it. So hey, you know, I got samples in my shows. You know, Fantasia is my, you know, theme song.
I like Fantasia.
So, but as far as singers, you know, I'm actually loving Melanie Fiona.
Oh, I got Melanie Fiona's new album. You got it?
I have it.
Oh my God.
Actually, I mean, I can relate to that whole album. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, her album is good. You know, she only did like $30 her first week, and it's so sad.
Yep.
I got Monica's. You heard Monica's on?
Oh no, I haven't. But you know, I actually met Monica the day after I was on Watch What Happened Live. So.
Yeah, Monica cool with Candy, right? Monica and Candy, they cool with each other. I think, they are.
That's a beautiful, spirited person, man. I mean, Monica, man, you can learn a lot from somebody who done went through hard times and still got a great personality, such as Candy. So.
Yeah, I actually got Candy's last album too. What was it? Candy Coated. Her city was good too.
I know Candy hate hearing this, but if I could get Escape back together, trust me.
Oh my gosh, if I could too, I love Escape. You know, I'm actually gonna interview Latasha, Latasha Scott.
That's my hey man. Can
You
I
heard
be
her new song called Bad Timing?
Can I be here when she do? When she
Yeah, she actually agreed to do an interview. Her new song called "Bad Timing" coming out. I actually got it. It's not available for iTunes to purchase yet, but I had to rip the song from YouTube and make it an MP3 because I love the song so much. But I ain't gonna buy it when she officially dropped it. But yeah, the song is nice. And she said, I said, oh, can I please interview you with your song? Can I please do? And she said, yeah. She gave me her email. And I'm just gonna shoot her an email. But yeah.
Well, you tell her I love Liar Liar. I listen to it probably once a week. You know, I know it was back in like 98 or 99 that she recorded the song, but I listened to it. It's off the Best Man soundtrack, so.
So she hasn't really made a solo album fully yet either.
No, she did make a solo album, but of course, you know, it was independent.
It was independently. Okay.
So, but yeah, you know,
I think like Natasha.
Man,
I would love them to get back together.
I have songs on here about her, you know what I'm saying?
And her voice still sounds the same after all these years. Shout out to Natasha. I'll whenever I said the interview, I make sure that you're in town because you know you got a busy schedule. You be traveling all around.
Yes. But you know, Atlanta got some great singers that live here. You know, we got Kelly Price, which I had the honor of meeting her and listening to her sing.
I so hate you.
You
I
know,
really do.
Whitney Houston, God rest her soul. I got the privilege of seeing her one time perform in a private setting where it was maybe 100 folks. So you know that was crazy, and that was recently, like maybe 5 months ago. So
wow.
So it's pretty cool. And then of course you know we got, well, I don't know if she still lives here now. I think she moved to LA. Toni Braxton at one point.
Yeah, she used to live here.
And then I mean we got Escape, even though they scattered around the city, you know, and they not together, but they all here, you know. So I mean that was one of the groups back in the day where, you know, they wasn't placed together by a record label. They was placed together because they, you know what I'm saying, they came up together. They knew how to harmonize. You know, they can make. It's just like
Cherish.
No, not Cherish. Boys to Men. You know, Boys to Men to me was one of the greatest groups that can harmonize because they knew each other. But you know, one thing about it, money makes people, and sometimes it changes people or whatever, and it changes them for the worse. And it's when you have a group and people grow, the fame grow, you're gonna always have somebody trying to walk away or do their own thing because they feel like they make the group or the group ain't what it was when they said they was gonna start. And I mean, I don't know if you noticed, but damn near every group fall apart at some point.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's just the only problem. That's why it's best to just be a solo artist. I mean, then you wouldn't have people always constantly coming to you saying, when y'all gonna get back together? I mean,
like Candy said, she's her boss at everything she does, and I don't knock Candy. You know, it's best to be your own artist, but I think her label is called
Candy Entertainment.
Candy Code Entertainment. So she's doing her own thing. So you know, everybody's doing it now. I think Ashanti's. I
thought she was dead.
Ashanti, yeah, you heard her new song?
Yeah,
the one you love.
It's a mess.
And the sentences were real good too.
She'll actually, Ashanti is actually doing a show that I am performing on coming up. And I don't want to say the city because I don't want everybody to say that I put it out before it happened. So when you see ReDICKulous and Ashanti on a flyer together,
then you know.
Then you already know that I did kind of mention it on YouTube. So.
Those sentences were really good. We had to order some pieces because you guys know we was ordering in the first part of the video. They were good though. I gotta take those try those out sometime. It kind of tastes like monkey bread. You know what monkey bread is. Some of y'all may not know, but I'm from Miami. You know, there's all kind of Caribbean. It's that's the name of it. It's called.
Oh, you know what I'm thinking of? It's that monkey bread.
You talking shit? I'm wood. Monkey bread.
I'm sorry, y'all. That was hilarious.
But it really is. She was really talking about a real food. It really is. It's like a bread with. when I think about that scene and the way she looked. Oh my gosh, it was so funny. I totally forgot she said it in what was it, Beauty Shop, right? Or Barber Shop. One of those movies. Nora's Hair Salon.
Yeah,
one of them low budget films.
Yeah, it was something.
It was one of those. What's a monkey brain?
I feel like
You are a
Anderson
mess.
Cooper.
Oh, you see Anderson Cooper talking about the what was it called? What's that holiday?
ReDICKulous. That's what it was.
Yeah, it's called ReDICKulous.
It's called ReDICKulous.
But the name of the holiday that he was talking about was called. It's a stupid holiday that goes on in
It just happened. It happened the day after Easter.
the day after Easter. I don't know what it's called. You can Google. I put the information down in the
Sorry.
business. You want to answer it or you want to
No.
switch it? Yeah, I can't think of that stupid holiday, but when I seen him laugh, because it's called, he said the guys, he said the guys with, sprinkle the girls with water, and the girls hit the guys with a pussy willow branch. The girls smack the guys with a pussy willow branch. I never heard of a pussy willow branch a day in my life. So when
My brother alerted to him.
when he heard that he was trying to hold it in,
Dingus Day.
Dingus Day. That's what it's called. When I seen him laugh and the way he laughed, he laughed like a little schoolgirl. It was so funny. Oh my gosh. You guys gotta watch that. I'll put the link in the description box so you guys can check that out. Dingus Day. That was hilarious. You are a mess. You are a mess with that one. So before we go, we're going to give everybody your Twitter, and if people want to book you, your booking email, and where people can find you at. You're not on Facebook, are you?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook. It's actually facebook.com/ReDICKulous, which is my personal page. So don't hit me up asking me to friend you because I'm over my 5,000.
You are, but I'm not on there though.
Well, I mean, but I do have a fan page.
Somebody gonna be deleted for me.
Which I do have a fan page, which is ReDICKulous. So, hit me up at either Kelvin House, which is, like I said, facebook.com/ReDICKulous, or fan page ReDICKulous, or at Twitter, ReDICKulous11, or you can go to ReDICKulous.net or wix.com/ReDICKulous11. So.
And one more thing. I asked you what the 11 stood for on your Twitter, but where did the ridiculous name come from? I mean, because we know how you have it spelled, so we kind of knew, but
the first time I ever performed in that amateur competition, right after I won, they called me back on stage because it was done in my hometown, and the female who was hosting, she was like, "That's a big ass dick you got." She was like,
"That's ridiculous."
She was like, "You probably can," and this is how everything came about. She's like, "You probably can suck your own dick as long as it is," and I was like, "Oh, okay." I looked at her like she was stupid, and so she was like, "Try it," in front of everybody, and I was like, "What?" She was like, "Try it." She was like, "Just kiss the head of your dick," and I was like, "Okay." So I kissed it, and about $2,000 to $3,000 came from people were throwing in everything, you know what I'm saying?
And did she just say, "Man, that's ridiculous"?
No, she was just like, "Man, that should be your name. That's fucking ridiculous how crazy you can do some shit like that." She was like, "But you just made my pussy wet." And when I walked up the stage, my manager, well, he was becoming my manager. He was like, "Bro, if you come to Atlanta, that's gonna be your name, ReDICKulous." And it's so crazy that Candy called me the infamous ReDICKulous because infamous was the name.
Oh, that was your original name.
When I was doing the amateur contest, and so infamous ReDICKulous is, and I never told Candy that. And
wow.
So it was crazy. So.
Wow.
Yep.
So on that note, you guys, this has been an interesting interview. We got pizza, breadsticks, monkey bread. I'm sorry, shout out to Cheryl Underwood. That scene is so funny.
Yes, indeed.
So I thank you guys for watching. This is probably a long video. This boy's crazy. And follow me on Twitter at Wade TV Show. And until next time, you guys be safe. And I'll see you later. God bless. Peace. Mwah.
Peace.
What's that you say? Can't you speak any louder? The more they hate, the more they giving me power. Now, watch me show you how I do. I bet you won't try me. I bet you won't try me.